Hello and welcome to Board Game Gumbo. Today we're unboxing the Taverns of Tiefenthal from North Star Games. This is a game for 2 to 4 players that plays in about 60 minutes. So here we have our rule book on top. And then we have a rule book for the various modules that are added in the game. So there are, I believe, 4 extra modules that you won't start play with, but you can add in once you're a little bit more experienced, and this rulebook will explain them in particular. We have several boards of chipboard here, so each player is going to be running their own tavern, and one of these boards is essentially everything a player will have for their tavern. So you got a seating area up here. The reason why these are punchboard and they're interconnected is because all of these areas can be upgraded to a more effective side. So they need to be punchboard so that you can do that. You have your main sitting area here. The punchboard on this is good, but the awkward shape of this main section here makes it stick a little bit. So just be a little gentle getting it out. So again, this will be your starting area, and you can see that each one has a different color banister up here, which will allow you to differentiate the different boards from each other. We've got some other punch board here. This stuff at the top is for the modules. So these are entertainers that you can have in your tavern for some extra benefit. And then we've got some little signature pieces here. There's a little guest book module that you can add in. We have the main board here where your player piece will go. And this is the monastery board. You can move up this track, gaining benefits as you go. This is also double-sided, which I believe this is the starting side. And then you have some more module components up here. But all this pops out really easily. More chipboard, so another tavern board, the green tavern. We have a starting player token, that's what the beer mug is for. Each player is going to have a little coaster. It's just a little spot to put their dice that are going to get drafted. And then you see some more module pieces, so we got little shots there. And another tavern board, this time for the blue player. We also have some dice in here. So each player can have up to 3 dice of their own color. They'll have to recruit some barmaids to be able to use those dice. But then each round they'll also roll 4 community dice. And these dice will be rolled and then drafted around the table. We got some various player pieces. The tabs are for the monastery track, for scoring the monastery track, and the yellow pieces and the brown pieces are for leftover gold and beer. You're going to be producing gold and beer during your turn and then spending it immediately, although you can save some between turns. We've got a couple packs of cards here. These are going to be the various tavern guests, as well as upgrades that you can get for your tavern throughout the course of the game. So here we have some noble guests, which you can gain in various different ways. What you're looking for primarily here is one, the action they give you, but also at the top here is victory points. And ultimately that's going to be how you win the game, is to have the most cards either on your board or in your deck with the highest victory point cost. So a bunch of noble cards here, and then we get into the different patrons. So patrons, they have a victory points that they give you at the end of the game. They have actions they give you with certain die results, and then they have a cost. And so you're going to be acquiring different patrons with your beer. Basically, they become favorites at your tavern. And then on your turn, you can also serve them to get money, which you can then spend to upgrade your tavern in different ways. So some of them have effects that you get immediately. So when you buy this card from the lineup, you're going to immediately get to move your monastery token up 1 space. And these are just more of the market cards. This is one of the modules. So this card is for the module. It gives you variable player starting setups. So instead of every player having the same setup, you'll get a random card and that'll be your setup. Some more cards here. So these cards you actually won't play with in the starting game because you see this little die up here. But these are other cards you can buy. Again, these are for money instead of for beer. So these aren't patrons, these are upgrades to your tavern. Every character is also going to start with the same deck of starting patrons, and you can tell those by the tablecloth. So this is the starting deck for the blue player, and then you get into the yellow player and so on. And then back here, we have some more nobles. Obviously, nobles are a big part of winning the game because they are worth so many victory points. So there's quite a few of them. And you got another deck here of cards to upgrade your tavern. So you can add more tables, so you can have more patrons. You can add dishwashers, which would allow you to modify your dice that you acquire throughout the course of the round. These give you more beer when you take a particular action. This gives you your colored dice. So you can have up to 3 of them. You can actually have more, but you can only ever get 3 of your dice because there's only 3 included in the game. And this just gives you extra beer every round. So those are different upgrades that you can acquire throughout the course of the game. And that's everything that you are going to get in a copy of the Taverns of Tiefenthal from North Star Games.